A station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Tonight on DC News Now at 6, covering the entire DMV. Here's what we're working on. Overnight killings. 2 men shot dead. Another fights for his life in Northwest DC. And a missing teacher in Maryland. The desperate search from friends, family, and her school community after the 59-year-old vanished last week. And gas prices on the rise. How Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. size up to pump prices nationwide as we stretch your dollar before hitting the road. Good evening and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Ben Dennis. Over to Scott Sumner tracking several weather headlines tonight. Scott, a beautiful day. Going to be a calm evening, but possibly some storms tomorrow.
Yeah, we could be seeing some storms. We're wrapping up maybe some storms at this time tomorrow, Ben. But right now things are dry. Of course, we'll have the big Beyonce concert information coming up for you. And hopefully we can get a live traffic cam as well for that. But right now you see the live camera out towards Reagan National. And again, traffic has been moving pretty well here. Sky conditions, as you can tell, are a bit on the hazy side. There's still that smoke around from places out towards the west in the Canadian fires. The temperature right now is sitting at 87 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. And some other vitals for you here in the district. We're looking at a high dew point here at 65 or a moderately high dew point. East winds at about 3 miles an hour across the board. Waiting on this storm system. Well, it's quiet tonight. Well, we've got this storm right here in the Ohio Valley and Mississippi, mid-Mississippi Valley that's going to be moving in our direction. As a result, tomorrow we have a forecast that has a marginal severe outlook risk, not for the district itself, just off to the west. And as far as what are some of the parameters here, as far as tonight's forecast are concerned, we're looking at lows of about 70 degrees after the temperatures drop out of the 80s. Ben?
Thank you, Scott. Breaking news tonight out of Prince George's County. A fight over a stolen car ends in a shooting and sending someone to the hospital with critical injuries this afternoon. Prince George's County police say that the shooting happened on Margarita Avenue in Glendale. 2 people were reportedly fighting over a stolen vehicle. One of the people was shot. We know that the person is facing potentially life-threatening injuries. Police also say the shooter stayed on scene and that 2 guns were collected. Police are asking if you have any information to contact them. And right now, D.C. police are investigating 4 shootings overnight. You can see here on Ontario Road Northwest, U Street Northwest, and Just Street as well. Sending also 2 people dead in a popular Adams Morgan neighborhood and nightlife scene. And D.C. police say that they got a call about gunshots on Ontario Street in Northwest around 1 a.m. There they found 3 men had been shot, 2 on scene, a 3rd sent to the hospital fighting for his life. Around 3:30, police say officers heard gunshots on 12th and U and found a man shot several times, sent to the hospital. Then at 5 a.m., they got another call on U Street in the same area. 1 man was found shot dead on scene, and then at around 6 a.m., police found 1 woman shot in Northeast on Just Street near the Maryland line and sent to the hospital. D.C.'s acting police chief had this to say about the string of shootings.
Even though we're in the preliminary stages of this investigation, we are asking anyone who may have seen anything, heard anything, or if you have video camera footage or video surveillance, we are asking you to contact the Metropolitan Police Department at 202-727-9099, or you may text us at 50411. Thank you.
This evening, the search for a Prince George's County teacher continues nearly a week after she went missing. Last night, a vigil was held in the hopes of bringing her back home. Yacht Marisa say covers Prince George's County and was at the vigil at Strom Hill Park in Greenbelt.
A desperate search.
But what we want are answers. We want to know what happened to her. We want to know where she is.
To bring home a loving Greenbelt teacher.
And my children are stunned and they're very sad about it. She was a really wonderful person, just a really sweet and caring teacher. And she was a very effective teacher that really took care of her students.
On Friday, several people lit candles and canvassed neighborhoods in hopes of finding any information that could help in the disappearance of 59-year-old Mariam Toure Sila.
When you have lost someone because they're just missing, they just disappeared, it makes it very difficult, and it's going to be a burden that all of us will carry until she's home.
According to police, she was last seen on July 29th near her home on Lake Park Drive in Greenbelt Road around 8 p.m. Many believe she was on her way to take her daily walk at Scrum Hill Park. Since then, nobody has seen or heard from her.
It literally rocked my world, and it's been very difficult this week trying to focus on just regular life. This is devastating.
You know, we went out yesterday to the Safeway, and we're able to get in front of a lot of families going in and explaining to them that she's missing.
Her friends, family, and school community are remaining grounded in their faith.
Send your angels wherever she is to return her home safely.
As the search continues.
We want her home safely, and we want her home safely yesterday.
Hopeful for a safe return indeed. That was Yamarie Sase reporting. Scylla is 5'5", 135 pounds. If you have any information, contact Greenbelt Police. And in Montgomery County, 5 adults, 3 children have been displaced after 2 homes caught fire on Centerville Street in Silver Spring yesterday. The Red Cross is currently helping those families, and while renovations were still underway there. As of right now, the exact cause of the fire is unknown. Reach out to Fire and Rescue if you have any information. Now to the latest indictment of former President Donald Trump. People who live and work in D.C. responding after the former president labeled the city as one with filth and decay after appearing in federal court on Thursday. Trump spent about an hour in the district pleading not guilty to charges he conspired to overturn the 2020 election. He drove straight from Reagan National Airport to the courthouse downtown and back. Before boarding his plane, he said this.
Seeing the filth and the decay and all of the broken buildings and walls and the graffiti, this is not the place that I left. It's a very sad thing to see it. When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
Trump then said, quote, if you can't beat them, you persecute them or you prosecute them. And after the former president's choice words about the district, DC News Now took the very same drive to see what Mr. Trump may have been referencing. Our Leonard N. Fleming takes us along that route and painting a different picture.
Today, we retrace the former president's journey to federal court from Reagan Airport. Going over the 14th Street Bridge into D.C. with the Jefferson Memorial on the left, we saw isolated spots of graffiti on the sides of bridges as we headed into the tunnel. What we didn't see were broken buildings or decay, other than a few aging areas that, from the looks of things, have been there for many years.
He lives down in Mar-a-Lago, you know, so what is he talking about?
Cornelius Scott of D.C. heard former President Donald Trump's comments that his city was full of filth, decay, and broken buildings.
D.C. is not in that bad of a shape, in my opinion, living here.
I don't really see as much of that when I'm walking around.
Lauren VONBECHMANN also lives in the district.
Obviously, it's a city, so you see a lot of graffiti, a lot of rubbish, a lot of trash around. Just kind of in any city, I feel like he's probably in a pretty bad mood, if I had to guess.
Richard Moore works in D.C. but lives in Maryland. He doesn't see what Trump claims he saw.
In this specific area, I didn't see any of those things. I rarely see any of those things. You may see a passing freight train with some graffiti on it.
The comments were made, he says, for negative effect.
Some of the insightful comments are what they were made for, to incite people who don't live in the D.C. or the DMV area.
Now, we did reach out to the GOP party of D.C. and have not yet received a response. In Virginia, the county supervisors for Fairfax and Prince William counties are looking at a ban to panhandling. They want to ban the exchange of items from cars to pedestrians, not the act of asking for money. Fairfax police say that they've responded to more than 300 incidents involving panhandling since last October. Those incidents range from blocking traffic to threatening people. The American Civil Liberties Union fights against these bans across the country. They argue the bans infringe on the right to free speech.
Government is concerned about, the flow of traffic or safety. There are ways to narrowly tailor ordinances to address those concerns.
It's only a matter of time before someone's going to get hurt pretty bad.
And the Virginia legal director for the ACLU says assisting with mental health and job search is the best way to help panhandlers. The issue will be discussed in a town hall meeting in Fairfax County in about 2 weeks. In other news, it'll be cheaper for Prince William County, Virginia homeowners to go solar and help the county reach some of its climate goals. As our Max Marcillo reports, the county is hopeful this will help encourage more participation and continue a massive expansion of its solar program.
In just a matter of years, Virginia's second largest county has seen a rise in demand from people who want to solarize their homes.
I want to do my part, yeah. I mean, I want to do everything that I can do, and then I have a clean conscience.
Eric Onstad had these 10 panels installed on his 3-bedroom Haymarket home and says he spent roughly $400 on fees. Through the first quarter of this year, there's been a nearly 200% increase in approved residential solar building plans in Prince William County compared to the same time frame last year. Cost, Onstad says, is a reason why that number isn't even greater.
I think decreasing the permitting fees are going to push people that are on the edge right now over the edge.
County supervisors are hopeful.
This is a way of alleviating some of that pain and that frustration that folks are having while the county works on the streamlining process.
They passed the measure 6-1, but both supervisors and Onstad admit it doesn't solve the whole problem. The organization Solar United Neighbors says Prince William County takes longer to approve permits than many of its neighbors.
There needs to be a cultural change in the office that does the permitting, because right now they're saying that they're doing it to prevent cave-ins and accidents and things, but that's not a problem. So what the real problem is the efficiency.
And staying in Virginia, parents are asking the state's attorney general to consider a potential violation of the Human Rights Act. Some parents say the state's education system and Fairfax County Public Schools are discriminating against students with special needs. One family says they're taking legal action against FCPS because the school district would not help them place their disabled son in a residential facility. They're calling the system rigged.
Sort of militant, weaponized, adversarial process thrown at parents. It's really depriving them of their rights. The stresses of being a family or a parent of disabled is breaking up families.
We've asked Virginia's Attorney General and the school district to respond to the allegations. We'll bring you that once we receive it into our newsroom.